Imagine, 42% of Americans actually believe they can consult the dead about matters involving the future. But mankind refuses to seek and consult God. Only He can reveal the future. Mankind cannot, through intelligence, human reasoning, or scientific discovery, know or discern events to come. And many religious people believe the book of Revelation offers no help anyway because it cannot be understood. But God is working out a supreme master plan involving every human being. However, Daniel adds, none of the wicked shall understand. No, they can't get it, because God will not reveal His plans to those who do not obey Him. Psalm 111, verse 10 says this, a good understanding have all they that do His commandments. God only gives understanding to those who do what He says. After Daniel finished recording the prophecy, he asked God to explain what it meant. Though Daniel was used to record the book, even he did not understand it. Notice, I heard, but I understood not. And God told him, go your way. The words are closed up and sealed, get this now, till the time of the end. The Moffat translation is even stronger by rendering this till the crisis at the close, meaning the close of the age before Jesus Christ returns. While Daniel was not permitted to understand his prophecy, those who live in the time of the end can, and the wise do. Let's now begin to understand the book of Revelation. This awesome picture of future events was sealed with 7 separate seals. It is crucial to understand another key point. The 7 seals in God's hand essentially span all but the last 2 chapters of the book. They are opened one by one in sequence. Each reveals future events before they happen. Only Christ is described as qualified to remove the 7 seals and open the book to understanding. It is the Greek word apocalypse that is translated revelation. This English word actually means to reveal, not conceal, hide, veil, or close up. As I've explained in other broadcasts, the dictionary definition of revelation is easy. Here it is. The act of revealing or disclosing something revealed, especially a dramatic disclosure of something not previously known or realized. In the very first verse of the book, the Apostle John recorded Christ's words, the revelation of Jesus Christ to show unto His servants things which must shortly come to pass. Near the book's end it states, seal not the sayings of the prophecy of this book, for the time is at hand. Comprehend John's words. The time for understanding the book of Revelation is now at hand. God reveals a basic framework for understanding future events. This framework is primarily laid out in Daniel and Revelation. Daniel, recorded over 600 years earlier, sets the stage for the larger and more detailed book of Revelation, which describes many events found nowhere else in the Bible. Revelation outlines a long series of events that relate to one another in a continuous flow comprising an entire story. These occur in order of time sequence. Here are 2 overview graphs, an outline and a story flow to which you may refer. They will be shown again later. Also realize that Christ periodically insets certain events into the course of the revelation. You now understand the first key to unlock the book. Grasp this central, all-important point. While there are multiple keys to understanding Revelation, the book itself is the single greatest key to understanding almost all other prophecies in the Bible. One of the basic rules of Bible study is to always let the Bible interpret itself. This is probably never truer than in Revelation. Since John sees many symbols, we need to be able to understand the actual events that they represent. Otherwise, we will not know what is being described. How do we do this? Mark 4:10-12 and Matthew 13:10-15 hold another key to understanding how Christ teaches. In both places, he explained that he spoke in parables so that his true servants would understand him, but others would not. Carefully read these verses. And when he was alone, with only the disciples, they that were about him with the 12 asked of him the parable. And he said unto them, not to others or to the world as a whole, unto you it is given to know the mystery of the kingdom of God, but unto them that are without, all these things are done in parables, that seeing they may see and not perceive, and hearing they may hear and not understand. Note exactly what Jesus said. Only his servants could understand his real meaning. Others might think they do, but they cannot. Christ never leaves his servants in the dark about matters he wants them to understand, but he does record them in ways that keep them hidden from the view of all others. This will help you see why so few understand a book that has been read by so many, and why the book was written as it was. We have already touched upon the principle that the wicked, the unrighteous, do not understand events at the close of the age. But those who have God's Spirit will understand. Read Acts 5:32 and John 16:13 together. Only through God's Spirit leading those who are obeying him can they understand the truth. If you remember nothing else, remember this. Recognizing and accepting these two verses is of vital importance to every viewer and reader of Revelation. All who do not seek to obey God, while they may sincerely seek to understand the many truths of the Bible prophecy, are wasting their time. Jesus explained in plain, clear language the key events of the last days preceding and leading to the time of his second coming. Remember, Jesus' disciples asked him privately, tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of your coming and of the end of the world or age? We must briefly examine the critical Matthew 24 chapter for vital clues, which explain the symbols found in Revelation. Jesus gave a list of 6 different events that are to happen before his second coming. They precisely parallel the seals, including the 4 horsemen of Revelation 6. First, he said, would be false prophets and false Christs, Matthew 24:5. Second, come wars, verse 6, throughout the age culminating in the end time with world war, verse 7. Third are famines, and fourth, pestilences, both also in verse 7. It is at this point that Jesus inserted a reference to the destruction of Jerusalem in AD 70, because this would be a forerunner or type of the yet future siege of Jerusalem and Battle of Armageddon. Take time to review Matthew 24:17-28 with Luke 17:30-37. Therefore, Matthew 24:9-28 and also Luke 21:12-24 applies to the period of AD 70, but, and get this, only as a forerunning type of the final time of the end to which his warning refers literally. Fifth, in Matthew 24:21 and 22, Christ explains that the horrific Great Tribulation occurs. Sixth are the heavenly signs, verse 29, when the stars fall and the sun and moon are darkened. The sign of Christ's coming, verse 30, occurs at this same time. His actual coming is right on the heels of it. Understanding who is the actual author of the Revelation and understanding the critically important theme, the centerpiece of the book, is vital. Without these keys, many have bogged down into either arguments about whether the Lord's Day, chapter 1, verse 10, is a reference to Sunday, or whether John, instead of Christ, authored the book.